Hello and welcome back to our last half hour of today's only edition, not Monday edition, of Beginner's Luck, la suerte del principiante. La gente tiene mucha suerte de que estemos nosotros en antena. Yes. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, I was in the book fair, en la Feria del Libro de Retiro de Madrid. And I spoke to probably, I don't know, 100 people, maybe, 150 people. I spent about 6 or 7 hours on Saturday and 6 or 7 hours on Sunday, maybe between 10 and 15 hours talking with people. He dicho talking with people aquí, no talking to people. Si digo talking to people, yo llevo la voz cantante, estoy no dando instrucciones, pero yo mando en la conversación. Talking with is platicando, as the Mexicans say, charlando, conversando. I was talking with people, and everybody is very grateful. All the people yesterday and the day before yesterday expressed their gratitude and appreciation for what we do. Me, Nacho, Martin, Alberto, Jim Traynor, all the people, Drew Crosby, David Boyes, Layla, everybody. They expressed deep gratitude for what we do on radio and on television and in general. Porque damos gratis en inglés las 24 horas del día. And people appreciate that. And it is true, the more you give, the more you receive. This company is the biggest in Spain in English training. Probably because we give important things free of charge. And in return, we receive a lot of things, too. And so we're fortunate, and you're fortunate. Everybody's fortunate in this equation. Siempre que la economía no caiga más. Okay. But in any case, I want to thank all the people who came to the book-stalls, las casetas, yesterday and the day before yesterday. Cuando dices antes de ayer en inglés, se dice el día antes de ayer, the day before yesterday. And I enjoyed talking with all the people. And even the famous man from Getafe came, who normally spends 45 minutes talking. But he was quite concise yesterday, maybe only 3 or 4 minutes. I was surprised. Okay, listen. Language exchange, intercambio de idiomas, at my bar, Campo Amor número 12, Alonso Martinez, every Wednesday at 7:30. So every Wednesday in my bar, we have English speakers, Spanish speakers, and we have the English language. Yes, los 150 metros cuadrados impregnados de inglés. So please go to my bar on Wednesday at 7:30 in the evening, every Wednesday from 7:30 to 10:30. Language Exchange, Campo Amor, Calle Campo Amor, number 12, número 12. And a new event every Monday at 7 p.m. in my bar, Campo Amor número 12 otra vez. Salsa lessons. Toma, lecciones de salsa in English. So you can learn to dance some salsa and with people who only speak English. So try it out. Try it out means, pruébalo. Go there, 7 p.m. and learn to dance salsa with English speaking, with the English language, ricocheting from wall to wall, rebotando de pared a pared, the English language, and you're learning to dance salsa. All right, so let's go on, shall we? Let's go on. ¿Os parece? Shall we? So, ¿de quién son esos sobres? Whose envelopes are those? No son míos. They're not mine. Pues ¿de quién son entonces? Whose are they then? Whose are they then? All right. I don't know whose they are. I don't know whose they are. All right. Este es tu problema, no el mío. This is your problem. not mine. Yeah, that's your problem, my friend, not mine. That's your problem, buddy. Buddy es amiguete en inglés americano. Buddy. That's your problem, buddy, not mine. I have enough problems for a lifetime. I'm not interested in your problems. Don't ask me. Don't ask me to solve. No me pidas que resuelva. En español pasáis al subjuntivo. En inglés, no me pides resolver. Don't ask me to solve your problems. I have enough problems of my own, de los míos propios. I have enough problems of my own. So, those are your problems, not mine. ¿De quién es este sobre? Whose envelope is this? ¿Dónde están? Where are they? ¿Dónde está? Where is it? ¿Qué es esto? What's this? ¿Qué son estos? What are these? ¿Qué es? What is it? Pues no lo sé. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No tengo ni idea. I have no idea. No me lo preguntes a mí. Don't ask me. Yo qué sé. What do I know? Yeah. You know, it's funny, the expressions in Spanish to express no lo sé are very similar to the expressions in English. Ni idea. Yo qué sé. What do I know? Se dice mucho. Y yo qué sé. What do I know? Do you expect me to know what color his car is? I've never seen his car. Maybe it's blue. Maybe it's green. Maybe it's white. Maybe it's black. Who knows? ¿Quién sabe? Who knows? All right. El mío está al lado del de ella. Mine is next to. Fijaos cómo manda la X. El sonido de X aquí. Mine is next to hers. Al lado del de ella. Mine's next to hers. Hago la contracción de mine is, junto. Mine apostrophe S. Mine's next to hers. Hers is next to mine. If mine's next to hers, that means hers is next to mine. Yes. Mine's next to hers. Los nuestros están al lado de los de él. Ours are next to his. Which means that his is next to ours. ¿Estás seguro? Are you sure? Are you sure? Pronunciación de sure. Sure. Are you sure? Are you certain? Otra forma de decir lo mismo. Certain, escrito certain. Se pronuncia certain. Como si señor, yes sir. Certain. Certain. Como si señor, 10. Certain. Certain. Are you certain? Are you sure? Certainly. Certainly. Sí, señor. Número 10. Lee. Sir. Yes, sir. Certainly. 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 Of course. Certainly. Okay. Can you help me? Certainly. Of course I can. All right. ¿Dónde están los nuestros? Where are ours? ¿Son de él estas revistas? Are these magazines his? Are these magazines his? Okay. El barco está en el puerto. The ship is in the port. The ship's in the port. Ship es un barco grande. Un vapor. Un buque is a ship. All right, the ship. Boat es una palabra genérica que puede ser desde un bote, una barquita, hasta un petrolero. Boat is a generic word for any type of vessel. Cualquier tipo de buque, cualquier tipo de aparato que surca las olas, el agua, is a boat. But if you say, my boat, mi barco, se entiende mi barca, o mi bote, my boat. Lifeboat, bote salvavidas, is a lifeboat. Okay? A lifeboat. The ship's in the port. The port is el puerto. Puerto de mar, no puerto de montaña, por favor. Yes, one time, I remember, I remember one time I asked a student, Zapata se llamaba. Zapata era un caso, eh? I said, Zapata, I said, what's the most important port in Spain? And he said, El Puerto de los Leones. Okay. I said, no, excuse me, we're speaking English. The Puerto de los Leones is a mountain pass, un paso de montaña, a mountain pass. It's interesting that you use the same word, puerto, for both, the seaport and the mountain pass. But nevertheless, a port is un puerto ya dragado y con muelles. That's la parte técnica del puerto se llama port. La parte natural del puerto se llama harbor. Harbor. H-A-R-B-O-R in American English. B-O-U-R in British English. The harbor. The harbor is the natural port. And the port is the technical part of the harbor. Okay, basically. Some people ask me the difference. What's the difference between port and harbor? Well, in one case it's a Latin origin word, port. In the other case it's Germanic Anglo-Saxon, harbor. But to be more specific, harbor is the natural part of the port. And the port is the technical part of the harbor. Okay. The biggest harbor in the world, I believe, is in Sydney, Australia. I believe. The biggest harbor in size, not in traffic, but in size, I think is Sydney. I have heard that all the navies in the world could do maneuvers simultaneously in Sydney Harbor, in Australia. New York City has a very big harbor, very pretty. The busiest port, the port with the most traffic, I think is Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And the second biggest, I think, could be Singapore. Rotterdam and Singapore are very, very busy ports. They're located very strategically. Singapore for Asia and South Asia and Southeast Asia. And Rotterdam for Europe, of course. Rotterdam is a perfect port for Europe in traffic. The biggest port in the United States is New York City. The second biggest, I don't remember. It could be Baltimore. It could be Houston, or it could be Los Angeles. I don't remember. Okay. It's interesting. The sixth biggest port, número 6, is Corpus Christi, Texas, on the Gulf of Mexico. I've been in that port many times, and in the Houston Port Channel too. All right, ports and harbors. El barco está en el puerto. The ship is in the port. Contracción, the ship's in the port. The ship's in the port. It's not on the high seas, in alta mar. Okay, on the high seas. My job, one of my jobs in this company, is to take the ships out of the port. Yeah, to take the ships out of the port. Sacar barcos del puerto. That means sacar productos nuevos al mercado y luego encargarlos a otro para que lo gestione. That's what I do. I take ships out of port, and then I find a ship captain to manage the ship. I don't want to be on the high seas. I want to stay in the port, building ships and taking them out of the port. Okay. Or in the dry dock, in el dique seco, the dry dock. D-O-C-K, dock. Interesting. It's interesting about the word dique. Okay, strange. We have two words in English, dike and dock. D-O-C-K, and I think D-Y-K-E for dike. Now, dock is muelle, de carga y descarga. Puede ser en una ciudad, en una zona industrial. The dock, the loading dock, the unloading dock. All right, dock. D-O-C-K. D-O-C-K. Si quitamos la K, es doctor. Hola, doctor. Hi, doc. Cuando hay confianza, le llamas doc. I call Javier, a psychiatrist, I call him doc. Is muelle. Dársena is a dock. All right. También es dique seco, a dry dock. Dry dock. We don't say dry dike. Now, dike, D-Y-K-E, I think it's D-Y-K-A. I'm not sure. Dike, yeah, dique. Dique. Es una acequia. Es un muro de contención para contener el agua. In the Netherlands, Holland, a lot of the land has been taken from the sea with very strong dikes. Very strong dikes. But dique seco, we say dry dock. All right, let's go on. Él es artista. He's an artist. Él es médico. He's a doctor. Soy profesor. I'm a teacher. Él es político. He's a politician. Ella es maestra. She's a school teacher. Teacher is a generic word, profesor. But school teacher is profesor de colegio, primaria, más que de secundaria. Pero los dos, el de primaria y de instituto, we say school teacher. Él es abogado. He's a lawyer. He's a carpenter. He's a businessman. She's a school teacher. She's a jeweler. She's an elevator operator. Ya no hay operadores de ascensor. That's a dead profession. I remember when I was a little boy. Little, very little. Perhaps 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. Every elevator in Houston, Texas had an elevator operator. Qué palabra más larga, eh? Elevator operator. Elevator operator. 8 sílabas. But we said elevator operator. The elevator operator. Okay. And I remember, and then when I came to Spain, most elevators didn't have operators, but a few did. And I remember very well in a bookstore on the Gran Via called Casa del Libro, Espacio Calpe Casa del Libro, there was an elevator. It's 4 floors, eh? And I remember there was an elevator operator in about 1974, 1975. And I remember the elevator operator. He had very thick glasses. What you call in Spanish, I think, not you say gafas de culo de botella o algo así. What do you call those? I can't remember. But very thick glasses. The elevator operator. Okay. The elevator. The British say lift. The lift. The Americans, we understand lift, but we don't say it. We say elevator. Elevador. Y escalera mecánica, we say escalator. Escalador. Escaladora or something. An escalator. The 3 most important producers or manufacturers of elevators and escalators are Otis, Schindler, and Tyson. In Europe, Thyssen, decís aquí, Tyson. In Europe, the 3 most important manufacturers of elevators and escalators are those 3. Okay, Schindler. Otis is an American company. In Spain, it's called Otis. But in the rest of the world, it's called Otis. Otis Elevator System Company. And it's based on Mr. Otis, a man who in the second half of the 19th century invented the safety system for the elevator. Before this, the concept of the elevator existed with no problem. The problem was safety. How to make elevators 100% or 99.99999% safe. And Mr. Otis, I can't remember his first name. He was the person who developed, más que inventar, probablemente desarrolló, but digamos inventó. He invented the safety system. Otis Elevator. Okay. Otis Elevator System, and that changed architecture in the cities. Before that, practically no building, he dicho prácticamente en ningún edificio, practically no building Let me find it in Wikipedia. Wikipedia, Otis elevator. Practically no building, pero en inglés normal diríamos hardly any building. Hardly any building was of more than 6 stories. 6 stories. All right. 6 stories son 6 plantas. 6 floors, se puede decir, pero solemos decir stories. Para plantas en un edificio. Una casa de 2 pisos is a 2-story house. A 2-story house. Before Mr. Otis, Elisha Otis, before he invented the safety system for the elevator, hardly any building in the center of any city was over 5 or 6 stories. It was just too much to walk up the stairs. After he invented the safety system and developed it in practical terms, buildings could go to 120 floors, 120 stories. So that was a very important invention. Elisha Otis, he was born in 1811. He died in 1861. My God. He died earlier than I thought. And he was an American industrialist, founder of the Otis Elevator Company, an inventor of a safety device. Fijaos, device, escrito device, que es dispositivo de seguridad en este caso. A safety device that prevents elevators from falling. Okay. He was in New York State, not in New York City. And the finished product was in 1854. Okay. So in 1854, he developed the safety device that made it possible to use elevators safely. And that was one of the most important inventions, probably in the 19th century, because it radically changed the possibility of city architecture, reducing enormously the cost of a square meter of office and commercial space, so you could build taller buildings or higher buildings and make the square meter relatively less expensive. A square meter of space in a 2-story building is more expensive than in a 40-story building. Okay, so Mr. Otis. But to get back to the subject, we're talking about elevators. And the 3 largest companies in Europe are Otis, Schindler, and Tyson. All of them are excellent companies. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be back with Cloverdale's Corner in just a few minutes.